But first, a major blow to the largest natural gas field in the world. That is the explosion you're seeing playing out on your screen. The name of the field is called South Pars, and it's known as Iran's energy lifeline. And the missile responsible for that fired came out of Israel. Iran hit back overnight with a number of attacks across the region, including on liquid natural gas facilities in Qatar. The White House claims it was blindsided by the move from Israel. President Trump posted on social media saying the United States knew nothing about this particular attack, adding no more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent Qatar. If they do, the president promised to, quote, massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. Now, despite Washington not knowing about Israel's strike on South Pars, Secretary Hegseth says the U.S. still, quote, holds the cards.
With the strike yesterday on South Pars gas field, if the U.S. didn't know about it or didn't approve of it, it kind of seems like a trend of Israel apparently pursuing their own objectives over U.S. objectives. I'm not sure if you agree with that, but the president has said he doesn't want to hit Iran's oil infrastructure right now. As you said, the U.S. avoided this on Park Island. Oil's nearing $120. Why are we helping Israel prosecute this war if they're going to pursue their own objectives?
We hold the cards. We have objectives. Those objectives are clear. We have allies pursuing objectives as well. And the truth speaks for itself. Iran knows when you hit Karg Island and you hit military capabilities on Karg Island, which is the only thing we hit, we can hold anything at issue. Anything. The United States military controls the fate of that country.
CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson was inside that Pentagon briefing, and she joins us right now. Good to see you, Ellie. So what is South Pars gas field, and why is this an escalation in this ongoing war?
Well, South Pars is a natural gas field that's shared by both Iran and Qatar, but it really cements Iran as the largest natural gas producer in the Middle East. Israel targeted it yesterday, and Iran today has retaliated against the energy infrastructure across several Gulf allies, and that has led to a rise this morning in energy prices. President Trump, as you mentioned before, was clearly unhappy about this because he took to Truth Social and said that Israel, quote, violently lashed out, that the U.S. knew nothing about it, and Israel will not target the field again if Iran stops its tit-for-tat strikes. The U.S. has been very specific in talking about this war that it has not targeted Iran's energy infrastructure. Last week, U.S. military strikes did hit Karg Island. That island is crucial for Iran's oil exports, but as Secretary Hegseth said, U.S. Central Command was specific that they targeted military targets, in part to prove that they could hit the energy infrastructure there if President Trump decides to. That, though, Mugo, would be a major escalation even further and have almost certainly more impacts on the prices of oil and gas around the world.
And Ellie, what else stood out to you during that meeting or that briefing with Secretary Hegseth and General King?
The biggest thing to me was the dollar amount. Secretary Hegseth did not deny a report by the Washington Post that the Pentagon is expected to request $200 billion from Congress to fund this war. That's about, based on our reporting, 20 times the $11.3 billion defense officials told lawmakers last week that just the first week of the war cost. When asked about the $200 billion figure, Secretary Hegseth said that number could move, but he wants to ensure that they are funded for what has already been done, and he specifically mentioned refilling the munitions that have been used and funded for what they may have to do in the future. The other thing that stood out to me was that it seems, based on what General Kane said, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who was next to Secretary Hegseth, the main focus, or at least one of them, is reopening that Strait of Hormuz that we've talked about for a few weeks now. Kane mentioned that there are A-10 Warthogs, which is a close air combat aircraft, and helicopters that are going after both the fast attack speedboats and the drones in the strait as they work to eliminate as much of the risk to traffic there so the strait can open back up.
Okay, Eleanor Watson, thank you for your reporting.